Ho, ho, ho. Chelsea enter the Christmas period, as you can see. And once again, what do? We hand out gifts. You get a goal. You get a goal. You get a goal. Leeds United 3, Chelsea 1. All the good that we did, beating Burnley coming back from the international break, smoking Barcelona in the Champions League, and then grinding out a gritty 1-1 draw against our London rivals, title rivals. I can't even say that in Arsenal. All thrown away because we travel to Leeds and hand out gifts. All 3 goals today, gifts. But it's not to say that Leeds United didn't deserve it. Oh, no, 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 no. They fully deserved it. They were good value for the 3 points. They were better than us. They had 19 shots. 19 shots. A team that started Dominic Calvert-Lewin, DCL, part-time footballer, a part-time fashionista up top. And he gave our center backs a torrid time. He bullied our center backs, gave them fits. And yeah, I don't know what else to say. You can hear by the voice, you can tell by it that it was not a pleasant watch along. And it was like that from minute one. Minute one. I've seen a lot of folks today or post-match crash it on Maresca for the rotation. This is December, folks. We came back from an international break in which Caicedo played multiple matches. Esteval played multiple matches. Key Cucurella, key members of our team were playing, representing their country as some of them tried to qualify for the World Cup. Some of them were just playing out dead rubber matches and so forth. We come back into it. The early kickoff versus Burnley. Midweek versus Champions League. And then on the weekend, the big one on Sunday. And then today, Wednesday. So what's that? 4 club matches in 10 days, around that, maybe 11 days. So pretty much match, 2 days off, match, 2 days off, and so forth. We needed to rotate. Now, how and who we rotated, yes, you can have some conversations around that. But when I looked at the sides that the teams rolled out this weekend or this midweek, I saw Arsenal make 4 changes. I saw Liverpool make some changes. I saw Man City make 4 changes. I saw clubs all around us make the changes as they need to do in this time frame in order to get match fitness, in order to not overbear or overburden your players so that they break down. And we know that we have a very, very injury-ridden squad. Reece James just played 3 matches in a week. He was never going to play today. Cole Palmer's just getting back, not fit enough to make the bench. Look, we can't afford to go into this winter period and not rotate. If we do, we are setting ourselves up for injuries. We are setting ourselves up for fatigue. We are setting ourselves up for burnout. So I don't want to hear it about we rotated too much. The squad that was out there today was good enough to beat a poor Leeds United squad. No ifs, no ands, no maybes, no buts. That squad that was out there today was our first choice keeper, our first choice left back. Trevor Chalobah is one of our first choice center backs, albeit playing at right back today, which If you're going to get on Maresca, get on him for that. That was Enzo, our first choice center midfielder, with Santos, who's had to play because Caicedo's suspended. That was our what a lot of the fans believe is our first choice right winger in Esteval. That was João Pedro in the 10. That was Delap up top. That was Gittins on the left hand side, who hasn't had a run of games. That was a very, very strong lineup, with the exception of Reece James, really, and Caicedo, who obviously couldn't play because of the suspension. That was three center backs: Tosin, Chalaba, and Badiashile, who were all put in there due to the manager believing that Leeds United was going to try to attack us in the air, which they did, because Leeds United sends in, I checked it pre-match, and I'm not a huge stat guy, but I checked it pre-match. Leeds United sends in the third most crosses in the league. As soon as you see Dominic Calvert-Lewin out there, you know what time it is. You know that they're going to be sending crosses in, long throws, set pieces, corners, and all that stuff. And look, lo and behold, how did they get the first goal? Corner. We've been largely good on set pieces this year, whether it's attacking set pieces or defending set pieces. But today, I don't know what it was, because the zonal marking, and I'm not a huge fan of zonal marking, but I understand it, was just absolutely atrocious. And not because of the setup, but solely down to the lack of quality from the players. The first goal comes, Delap loses his man because there's some picks going on and there's some movement in the box. He runs right across the face of Trevor Chalaba, who doesn't attack the ball, and next thing you know, it's 1-0 Leeds. Deservedly so, because by that point, we had hardly even laid a glove on them. We had hardly even sustained an attack. I mean, Leeds was on us from D-dot. From the beginning of the game, Leeds set the tone, they set the intensity, and we were sleepwalking all through that entire first half. And we deserved to go down 1-0, 2-0. Because what happens on the second one? We get pressed high enough up our pitch. There's a pass that comes into Enzo. Enzo does poorly. He gives the ball away. Leeds picks up the 50-50 in the loose ball, because that's what Leeds did all day today. They were first to all the 50-50 balls. They were in on all the challenges. They wanted it more. They picked the ball up, and credit to number 22. He hit a very, very lovely shot, but a very, very preventable goal, because we're playing out the back, and instead of hoofing it up, which we have two supposedly target center forwards up top in João Pedro and Liam Delap, who are supposed to be good at bringing the ball down. They were awful today. But instead of playing it safe, what do? We architects of our own downfall. We give the ball away. And when you give the ball away in your own third, it leads to high chances, and it leads to quality chances, and they put the ball in the back of the net. It's 2-0. A couple of changes here at halftime. Garnacho comes on, which I didn't really understand, because I thought Gittins was... Actually, that wasn't exactly at halftime, but Gusto comes on at halftime. He pulls Badiashile, so Trev goes back into center back with Tosin, who... Badiashile wasn't good in that first half, but if you're going to take anybody off, take off Tosin, because Tosin was horrible, and we'll get to Tosin on this one. But we get a goal back. We had a couple opportunities in that first half to get a couple goals. João Pedro slipped in the lap 2 times. Neither time did he even look like scoring or instilling confidence in us in scoring. Delap was absolutely atrocious today. He's been absolutely atrocious for us from the beginning of the season. And yes, he did miss a huge chunk, but you know what? He should be up to full fitness now. He's been training for a better part of a month. He came back early. Maybe he shouldn't have come back early, because he has been absolutely terrible. When he's not just balling into people, he's either giving the ball away, he's not holding the ball up, he's falling on the floor, he's not being strong in possession. or he's just missing chances. He had 3 chances today that fell to him. One in the first half, two in the second half that he just fluffed. Fluffed. One of them he took a touch wide right. Took First touch was good. Second touch was away from the goal. Hits it, goes past the near post or the front post. Um, Second one he disguised it over with his left foot. Should be hitting it across the goal. Absolutely horrible today. His running mate, João Pedro, equally as terrible. Esteval, wasteful. Enzo Fernandez, absolutely atrocious. One of the worst games I've seen Enzo have in a Chelsea shirt. And we've seen some stinkers. But none of them can quite take the cake like one Tosin Adebayo, whatever the fuck his last name is, because he was absolutely atrocious. We get the goal back. It's 2-1. Neto had come on at that time for Esteval. Back post, I think it's about 50th minute or 55th minute, around that time. And you're thinking, all right, it's 2-1. We've still got the wild card and Cole Palmer on the bench. We've got some firepower. We've got Pedro on. I'm sorry, yeah, João Neto on. We've got Gittins at that time was on, so we got Garnacho as well off the bench. So we've got some options off the bench. They come on. It's a little bit slow, but what do we do in the third one? Playing with our food at the back. Gusto, Chuckle Brothers back there. Gusto, instead of hoofing it long, plays a pass, which he's probably instructed to, and I don't blame him so much for this, but he plays a pass to Tosin. Tosin takes his eye off it because he's probably nervous. They're literally about 6 feet away, 2 yards away. The ball goes under his foot. He's onto it. Leeds is onto it. Sanchez is onto it. And next thing you know, it's a scramble in the goal in the net, or a scramble in the box and a goal in the back of the net. Look, my head is gone. My voice is gone. Today was frustrating to say the least. 3-1 kills the game right there. 2-1, I'd like our chances to at least get a point, which still would have been a bad result, but would have been better than walking away from Leeds with no points, which is what we ultimately did in embarrassing fashion. Just embarrassing from start to finish. Every player bar some of the subs. Neto, I thought Gittins was okay. Cucurella was decent. Santos was decent, but Trev, looking like the old Trev. Badiashile, poor. Tosin, diabolical. Robert Sanchez, just, oh my God. Just peak Sanchez. Just kicking the ball directly to the Leeds players. Kicking the ball out of play. Not commanding his box on corners and crosses. Just, I hear people put purple patch players like Sanchez. And look, I give Sanchez credit for that running games that he played. I thought he was very good in that running games. But you know what you're going to get with Sanchez. He's a moment away at any particular moment or any particular time from having a bozo moment. That's who he is. That's what he's about, and that's what he does. Same with Tosin. Same with Trev. These guys are not good enough for a team that wants to be in and around the title conversation, which we aren't. Let's just call a spade a spade. You with a back line of Tosin, a back line of Chalobah, Fofana, who's been pretty decent, but he's still a walking injury concern and can't play every match. Caicedo suspended. It was an absolute stinkfest today. Absolute stinkfest today. I wish I could have bridged you guys more energy, but the watch along zapped it all from me. This one is look, the weekend can't come fast enough because we need the men in black. Erase this one from the hard drive. Get ready for Bournemouth, and I need to see fight. I need to see passion. Look, I knew there was going to be a drop off when it comes to energy. As much as you people want to say yeah, these players are are they get up for the big ones and don't get up for the little ones. I understand it. You're as a player, as somebody that's played sports, you're always going to get up more for the bigger teams, the better teams, than you are for a Leeds away. It's the nature of people, but what you hope and what you wish and expect is that you have enough quality to get you over the lines. Like I said on Jimmy's stream, I wasn't looking for a 3-0, 4-0 today. I just wanted 3 points. I didn't care if it was 1-0. I didn't care if it was 2-1, 3-2, whatever it was. Get me 3 points and get me the fuck out of Leeds. And we didn't do any of that. So, look, poor from Maresca. Didn't like the three center backs in defense. Um, poor from the players. Poor from the squad building, squad setup. Look, I won't crash it on them this particular game, even though we know that they're poor and that they put us in this situation. But there's enough out there to get the 3 points, and unfortunately, that's not what we did. But look, people, let me know what you think in the comments. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, and we go again. Bournemouth on the weekend. Must win. Still in fourth place somehow. But it is what it is, folks. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate you all. See you at the next one.